Good evening. Welcome to Space News. Today we'll continue our series on the solar system.
We will explore the king of the planets, Jupiter. We'll begin with the basics. Jupiter is the fifth planet from our star with an average distance of 5.2 AU. It is also the largest planet. In fact, it is so large that all of the other planets in the solar system could fit inside of it. When you look up at the night sky, Jupiter is usually the second brightest planet in the sky after Venus.
Below the surface of Jupiter lies a great mystery. For a long time, scientists could not figure out what this planet was made out of, but now we know that it's made out of a small amount of hydrogen and helium and other light gases. With a small twist. Due to the great pressure and gravity, the planet turns our friendly gaseous hydrogen into something much, much stranger. Liquid hydrogen. Liquid hydrogen is very rare in nature and it's only to be known to exist under these extreme conditions. But this is a strange thing lurking below the surface of Jupiter. The further you go, the more extreme conditions become, and hydrogen is forced to another state change. It becomes liquid metallic hydrogen. Liquid metallic hydrogen is very, very rare and it's only theorized that it exists on Jupiter, but it surrounds a small rocky core.
On December 4th, 1973, Pioneer 10 became the first spacecraft to fly past Jupiter, giving us our first glimpse at the solar system's largest planet. The following year, Pioneer 11 gave us an even closer look, flying about 3 times as close. It allowed us to explore Jupiter's polar regions, as well as document the changes in the magnetosphere, which is greatly influenced by solar winds. Fast forward to December of 1995, NASA's Galileo spacecraft became the first probe to sample Jupiter's atmosphere. It measured temperature, pressure, chemical composition, clouds, sunlight, and the planet's internal energy. Within 58 minutes, after penetrating 200 kilometers into Jupiter's atmosphere, it was destroyed by the intense pressure and temperature.
Just a few days later, the Galileo spacecraft began its orbit around Jupiter. Within 14 years, it made many important discoveries, such as the intense radiation belt above Jupiter's clouds, helium concentration in the same as our Sun, and a possible ocean underneath the icy crust of Europa. In the past several years, NASA has made many more strides to understand Jupiter. In 2011, the Juno orbiter was launched and is set to arrive this year. It will hopefully give scientists an understanding of Jupiter and its origin. And now to Jacob with the weather.
Thank you, Anthony. I'm Chief Meteorologist Jacob, and I'm on Jupiter, and I'm on the scene. Now, just like last century and the century before that, Jupiter's Great Red Spot continues to rage on. The Great Red Spot is a storm that is twice the diameter of Earth and has been observed for the past 300 years. Now, this storm rotates counterclockwise and is filled with very harsh conditions, such as lightning caused by strong atmospheric pressures and extremely cold temperatures. Now, Jupiter's weather system works under the same physics as Earth, and the weather forecast for tomorrow is very similar to the weather forecast for today. Temperatures today will be at a low of about negative 190 degrees on the planet's visible surface. The high today will be about 40 degrees near the planet's equator. Later that day, the temperature is going to lower down to 9 degrees Fahrenheit on the lower cloud levels. And, oh wait, what's this? I'm just getting in. Another storm is going to be rolling in tomorrow. We don't know how long this storm is going to last. Could be a few hours, could be a few centuries. We just know that the storm is going to start around midday tomorrow and will start like any other storm with clouds of ammonium sulfide rubbing up against clouds of ammonium crystals. This is going to create very harsh conditions with wind speeds reaching up to 220 miles per hour. Now, as I was saying, these clouds are brought together by Jupiter's fast rotation, which turns the clouds into jet streams across the planet. Now what? Uh-oh. Oh, I'm just getting in. There are aliens approaching from the north. All right, pack it up. Oh my God!
Sorry about that, folks. We appear to be having some technical difficulties. Can we go to the interview? All right. We're going to have an interview now with Katie. We're here on set with the moon expert, Katie. Katie, how you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. So tell us about Jupiter's moons.
Alright, so Jupiter is a very large planet, and as such it has a lot of moons, 67 in fact, and that's only including the ones that we've discovered so far. The 3 main moons are Ganymede, Io, and Europa. All three of them were discovered by Galileo on January 8th, 1610, and they have all taught us a lot about our solar system.
What can you tell me about Europa?
So Europa is a moon that is a little bit smaller than the moon of Earth. It's a very icy planet, kind of like Hoth from Star Wars. It's got an iron core with an icy crust, and it's suspected to have an ocean under its icy crust. And because of the volcanic activity in the core, it's suspected that the ocean might be able to support life.
What about Io?
Io is a volcanic moon. It is actually the most volcanic body in our entire solar system, with volcanic spews that can go up to 190 miles above the surface. Volcanic activity is caused by the gravity from Jupiter, Ganymede, and Europa pulling it in all different directions and causing the surface to well up in certain areas. It's slightly larger than the moon of Earth, and it is the third largest moon of Jupiter.
And you mentioned Ganymede?
Ganymede is the largest satellite in our solar system. It's actually larger than Mercury and Pluto, so if it was revolving around the Sun instead of revolving around Jupiter, it would qualify as its own planet. It has an iron core, a rocky mantle, and an icy surface with a really thin atmosphere. Unfortunately, the atmosphere isn't big enough to support life, but it's pretty neat all the same. The surface is about 40% dark cratered regions and 60% lightly grooved terrain.
Is there anything else you want to say?
All of the moons of Jupiter are named after Greek and Roman mythology relating to the god Jupiter, or in Greek mythology, Zeus. So they're all kind of connected, which I think is a really neat way to tie the moons to the planet itself.
Thank you for the wonderful interview, Katie.
Thank you.
During the interview, we have learned that Tony was in fact an amoeba and he has been deported.
In other news, Jacob is dead.
He straight up died.
His last words were reportedly,
Oh my god.
"Rest in peace, Jacob.
You will be missed."
Thank you for joining us on tonight's episode of Space News. We hope you enjoyed this episode dedicated to Jupiter.
Good night. So I'm thinking maybe Chinese for the deportation party.
Or Mexican.
Oh yeah.
There you go. Cool.
That would be you,
Cut.
Anthony.
The conditions are going to be very harsh. I said harsh. I said harsh.
Reaction with the basics. Jupiter is the fifth star from our planet. Oh my god. The second brightest star. The second brightest planet in this night. Jupiter's solar system.
So,
Pioneer. God damn.
That's okay.
And became the first spacecraft of. Why it's so hard?
with a small twist. Because of this,
He almost had it that time.
I should just be like, hey,
is that word?
how are you?
Yeah, I can talk.
On December 4th, 19...
And then there's this one. Jumping on the trampoline.
And remember, drink Pepsi Cola. It's been feeding the galaxy for about 1,000 years. Pepsi.
Wait.